If you're not using free analytics tools for your social media marketing campaigns, you might as well be worshiping the flying spaghetti monster. It's completely ridiculous. Look, you may think you've written a great post, or you may think the content that you share is excellent, but your consumers, the end users, are the ones who are really going to vote it up or down. They're the ones who matter. They vote with their views and their dollars and their conversations and their attention. So let's look at one of the posts I wrote the other day called Social Media Marketing Measurement for 2010. I kicked it off by starting some of the questions and conversations you can get going, and now let's talk about some of the specific tools. Now, if I want to go onto Twitter and share a post, I'm not just going to write the post's entire URL out there. I'm going to make sure to use a tracking link. Now, this is pretty basic. One of the ways you can do this is to go to bit.ly, and this is where you can enter the name of the URL that you want to shorten, such as socialmediacommando.com. I'm going to go there right now and click on it and type shorten. Okay, click shorten. Now this is going to give you an auto-generated URL. If you want to get fancy, you can type in a custom name. So you could name it SMC is awesome and see what it comes up with. I'm sure it's available. Boom, there we go. So the point is, if you really wanted to get cute and you wanted to get deep down into the analytics, you could see whether the auto-generated post or the custom URL works better. Probably not a big deal to use the custom generated one, but it's there if you need it. So that's what we have with respect to Twitter. And bit.ly, by the way, is the default for Twitter. So if you just enter a long URL, it's going to convert it anyway. However, if you don't have an account set up, well, then how are you going to be able to look at all the statistics? And that's one of the cool things that bit.ly offers you, is the ability to track just how many clicks every story you share is getting. So if we scroll down just a little bit, we'll see some of the active posts I have going, and I apologize, sometimes bit.ly goes a little crazy, but you'll see there's 20 here, 26 there. They're getting some play, and it tells me what stories are popular and what just aren't. Now, something else I like to use is called Hootsuite, and it's cool because it gives you the statistics for the day or for the month or any date range that you choose. Now, something to be careful of is if you're using bit.ly links, they're probably not going to show up in your statistics for Hootsuite because their default shortener is something called Owly. But again, just by using these two services, you're already finding out what people are responding to the most on a daily or monthly or weekly basis or any date range that you choose. Now, this is important because if you're rolling out a certain campaign, let's just say you're running a boot camp like I'm doing, you might want to make sure that the information you're sharing is getting in the right places. So one day you might share the content on Facebook with one specific tracking URL. Another day you might use Twitter with a different tracking URL with the same message, just different tracking URLs in different social networks, and that'll tell you what's more popular. Is Facebook a better audience? Is Twitter more responsive? You're going to be able to find out using hard data. That's the people who click on the link, the end user. They're going to vote it up or down. Now let's take a look at something that's pretty cool. I found this today. It's a social media measurement slideshow on SlideShare, and something that's really important is monitoring, tracking. How do you do it? So there's a lot of ways that you can do this. Company names, industry sites, and URLs. You can add things like this into Google Alerts, and you can also go to places like FeedBurner, Google Analytics. You can go to microblogging sites like we talked about, like Twitter, and social bookmarks. These are just some of the places that let you track. And it's cool because if you look at YouTube, for example, they'll tell you exactly how many clicks you're getting and how many views. But you can also go on to the YouTube analytics page, and they'll tell you where those views are coming from, what demographics they're being viewed by, so that you can gear your information towards them in the future and get more views and distribute your information better. So that's just a quick overview of social media marketing. I will give you one more nugget. Chris Brogan is a guy most of you know if you're into social media, and he runs a company called New Marketing Labs. One of the things I like is his simplicity. You look at the front page and it tells you loud and clear, we're building business communications value. Another nice thing is he's got two options for you. Contact us or visit our blog, along with a simple description of the business. Now, you might find it'd be better to have a form on the front page, but right after you click on Contact Us Today, boom, there's your form. Simple, easy to use, click Submit, and then it goes to the person who handles all of the inbound leads that they get on a daily basis. So the point is, if you're using all these things like we talked about, right, like Hootsuite and Bitly and of course Twitter and Facebook, you want to make sure that you're driving them to a place like, let's say, your contact page where they're actually able to submit a form. It's very important that you don't get lost in the miasma of just sending out links and hoping that people read them, because if you can't convert that information and you can't convert the posts and the content that you share into some kind of action item, then you're really missing out. I mean, what's the point of sharing a story on Dig or sharing a story on Twitter that gets like 5,000 views, but no one signs up for your newsletter, or no one subscribes to your blog, or no one shares anything with you? There's all these different ways where you can add forms, or you can add requests to get people to share information with you and contact you. Even just asking them to leave a comment is helpful. So get all this data, aggregate it, look at it, see what's working and what's not, and always improve. Just test, retest, and test again, and you'll find that you'll drive more views, you'll get more business from customers, and you'll actually start to develop a social media campaign in general. It takes a little bit of time to do. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you dedicate yourself to looking into the data and understanding how to start profitable relationships and conversations with people, you will definitely get there, and it will be worth the investment 1,000 times over. So if you have any questions, just head on over to socialmediacommando.com, and if you're in the Vermont or New England area and you want to come to a Vermont-based boot camp, which is the premier boot camp in the area, head on over and look at the general pointing at you. Click on the link here, and it'll direct you to VermontSocialMediaBootcamp.com. But in the meantime, I've got more tutorials to work on, and I look forward to talking to you soon.